To start, we're going to lift the bike onto the front stand and give it a good shake to make sure it's secure. Shake the bike and money falls out. Strange. Why I'm staring at the camera is beyond me. Well, that never happened. What continues to happen is me dismantling my 2008 ZX-10R. Let's go. 804's racing days have come to an end. It's the close of a thrilling and the beginning of a new chapter. To save time, I'll show you a video wall, such as taking out the chain, airbox, and other components. If interested, you can watch the full videos of each part on my channel. Well, it's time to remove the engine. And it's not as easy as a ZX7. The ZX7 basically has a bolt up here, well, two bolts, one each side, and a main shaft bolt going through here. This one has, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 9 mounting points. The other problem we have is the oil pan is now really flat. It's got a really odd shape to it. So trying to put something underneath to keep the oil pan level and stable is going to be a challenge. But anyways, let's see what we can do. To lower the engine safely, we need to create a wooden support under it. Wood is a great material for this because it is strong, cheap, and easy to work with. However, we need to ensure the wood is secure and fastened together. We don't want the wood to slide or collapse and make the engine drop or tilt the wrong way. I need to remove all the unnecessary brackets that could be damaged or snag when the engine is being lowered. I thought it would be easier to locate the optimal place to fasten the engine while keeping most of the engine and frame parts intact. And I was wrong. Alright, here goes nothing, or here goes everything. We just loosen the bolts that are mounted to the frame, not to the engine. The motor is not secure with just one strap. I need to make it more stable. They say more is better. So I pretzel this contraption. Let's see if it holds out. The moment you realize something is wrong. Oh. That sucks. Okay. Not what I wanted. Well, now we know my pretzel contraption is a good one. The bike is balanced and the engine is secure. Let's motor on to our final task, which is to take out the engine. It's time to unplug the ignition switch. For this, you'll need a small flat screwdriver. Place it in the tab, push down and then forward. The tab will release and the connector will separate. So far so good. I have 6 bolts off and the engine hasn't budged. That's a wrap for today's video production. I hope you enjoyed it so far. How do you rate our video? Drop us a line in the comment section. We'll be back tomorrow with more action. Morning. So here we are again, and I was thinking, instead of trying to drop the engine, what about lifting the frame off the engine? That actually might be a better way and an easier solution. So to do that, I have to remove the rear subframe, the 2 front forks, and the only thing holding up the entire unit is the jack balanced on the engine. Remove the bolts on the frame, and the frame comes up. I mean, yeah. It only makes sense, right? Well, there's one way to find out. Let's start. To begin with, we need to remove the 2 T6 fork pinch bolts on the left fork and then unscrew the front axle using a 22mm Allen key or socket. Why do people over torque bolts is beyond me. On to plan B, impact gun. In this portion of the video, I will show you how to strip a bolt in 3 easy steps. Step 1, grab an impact gun. Step 2, apply pressure into the bolt. Step 3, pull the trigger. Congratulations, you have successfully stripped the bolt. I managed to get the hex bolt out by pounding a Torx bit into it with a hammer, as I did to the other 2 bolts. Let's see if the Torx bit has enough bite to remove the rounded hex bolt. 2 for 2 and 1 more to go. That's 3 for 3. To stop the axle from rotating, I put the pinch bolts back on one side while I loosened the other side. Then you can undo the opposite side and pull the axle out. Next, you can take out the pinch bolts and the other side of the axle. It's wise to put the axle back on the wheel until you need to work on either of them. From here on, it's simple to take off the front forks. You just need to undo the 2 pinch bolts on the lower triple clamp, and the fork should come out with some assistance. And now repeat the same process for the other fork. When you over torque the bolts, they either snap, bend, or damage the thread of the part. This can become very expensive very quickly. Lucky for me, this one is just bent. This fork is stuck like glue. I need a flat tool to get it through. Yeah, that was corny. Gently insert the screwdriver and apply very little force, and the tube should slide out with ease. Okay, I have issues. And that's how you remove the front forks. Needs new bearings. Next component to remove is the rear shock, and surprisingly, it's very simple. All you have to do is remove 2 bolts and pull the shock out. Let me show you how. Now that we have secured the frame and the rear swing arm, we can proceed to remove the 14mm nut and bolt that connects the shock to the shock absorber bracket. After you have taken off the nut, you have 2 options to remove the bolt. You can either tap it out or you can screw it with a wrench. However, I recommend the second option because tapping it out might damage the threads. Now we need to remove the second bolt that secures the shock to the suspension arm. The bolt is located at the bottom of the shock, and you will need the same tools as before. The last step is to remove the bolt that attaches the shock to the suspension arm. Since there's no more load on the shock, you can punch it out with a hammer or a punch. The only thing left to do is pull the shock upwards and out of the bike. And don't worry, it will clear the rear subframe without any problems. And now, okay. It's heavier than it looks, okay? All right, time to remove the swing arm. And surprisingly, it was more difficult than the shock. To remove the tie rod link attached to the rear swing arm, you will need a 14mm socket for the bolt and a 17mm socket for the nut. There should be no tension on the tie rod link, and the bolt can be easily pulled out. We're almost done with the removal of the swing arm. The shaft is held tight by a 24mm flange nut. I used a T14 to help me with the sticky shaft. However, the shaft should be easily pulled out by hand once the nut is off. Back off the 12mm swing arm collar. Congratulations, you just removed your rear shock and swing arm. And it was that simple. Thank you for watching this video. To see more videos like this, make sure you click on subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you again, and have a great day.